Welcome to Raw Talk. Again, I'm a little bit behind as I've just been so busy, like I said. But I'm very excited to make this video, so let's just get right into it. This was an interesting night. Judgment Day promo started off the show, and Priest was grateful for Finn and JD. That I appreciate you. I understand that you were just trying to help. So he kind of changed his tune a little bit from the whole, like, I don't need you and all this sort of stuff. I was kind of, in a way, hoping that this was going to signal potentially the end. And it could still end up happening for Damian Priest to kind of turn face because he showed sympathy at WWE Backlash France towards Jey Uso, saying, hey, he's done. Grabbed Finn, pushed him by the face. And then JD, same thing. Dirty Dom was there with the dead caterpillar on his lip, but he didn't really say anything. Actually, he didn't say anything at all. So yeah, so this was interesting, but I was a little bit disappointed. But whatever, maybe they're just going to drag it out a little bit and something may come of it in the future. Adam Pearce then came out and announced that Finn Balor was going to be facing Jey Uso. And then Finn Balor did wrestle Jey Uso. Drew, wow. Drew came in looking crazy. Like he had those eyes. And by the way, Jey Uso did defeat Finn Balor. I actually kind of forgot who won, so it's a good thing that it's mentioned here. Jey Uso won and then advances through the King of the Ring tournament. And then after that, we have a little promo here. Drew McIntyre left in a really nice car. I forget what kind of car. It could have been a Corvette. Who cares? He left, backstage of the arena there, and he left. And then, like, moments later, CM Punk showed up in a car, in a nice car. It was like a yellow Trans Am or something like that from the 80s. And basically gave a nice little promo about Drew McIntyre. That was pretty much it. Backstage, Ricochet. Quick little interview there. And Braun Strowman ended up showing up, and if you had forgotten, Braun and Ricochet were really close. They were tag team partners before Braun got injured. Basically said, you got this, go out there and stake your claim. Queen of the Ring match. Io versus Natalya. Io wins, which, with all due respect, I figured this was a nice match. I just wish, again, Natalya got a little bit of a bigger push. Not like main event title push, but she's become, well, she is a seasoned veteran, and she kind of reminds me of like John Cena in the sense that if you look at the last time John Cena won a match, and I've said this statement before, it was years ago, and when you keep using John Cena as a stepping stone to elevate another superstar like they did with Solo, but you do that too often, I feel like the same thing's happening with Natalya. I can't remember the last time she won a match. But she's very safe. She's a very good wrestler. And I just feel like I wish she wasn't a jobber, getting the Zack Ryder treatment. But that's not her fault. Sometimes it can be. But in this case, I don't think it is. It's just, kind of the way it is. Not everybody can have the big spotlight. Right now, it's on Io Sky, which she is an incredible talent. So I enjoyed this match. It was good. This guy here is going to become a very, very, very quick favorite of mine. I wrote his name with a small I because if I write I, I'll be like Izhia. It's Ilya Dragunov. He's from Russia. And he's just incredible. There was a vignette promo of him talking. I've only seen him like once or twice. And this is what I've mentioned before in the past. Sometimes somebody can come in. It doesn't matter how good they look, how bad they look. Sometimes you just don't resonate with me. And that's okay. It happens. I have a lot of respect for Ricochet. He's slowly starting to grow on me a little bit more lately. Took a long time, but Ilya Dragunov is already there. Okay? He's already there. And with me. And this was like, what? This was my actual first match? Or was this the second time I see him? I think this was his first Raw debut or whatever. And I am just 100% huge fan of his already. That's what I'm talking about. Doesn't happen too often, but it does. And this match was just how most wrestling matches should be. Just so much back and forth, some athleticism, some power moves, just like a mix of everything. It was a real spectacle, and I just really much enjoyed it. It was great. Now, this was nice. I said the same thing about Ilya Dragunov as I've said about Zoe Stark. From the very, very, very beginning. Okay? Actually, I need to, we'll get to that in a second. Backstage, Brawling Brute Sheamus interview about King of the Ring, talking about Gunther and all that and how he needs to lay him out. All right. Queen of the Ring tournament, Zoe Stark did defeat Ivy Niles. Ivy did good here. She's very strong. That's why you call her, like, you know, the little pit bull. And, yeah, there was no awkwardness here. Zoe is just, like, fire. Like, I miss when she and Trish were, like, a thing. Like, where they were, like, a little mini faction or whatever. But this girl's got the moves just so good. Fluid. Again, I use that word a lot. Awkward. There's some people, like, with all due respect, like Indy Hartwell. There's like something I may not be seeing or understanding. But to me, there's something about Indy where I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? And sometimes people go, oh, you're just dunking on the ladies, bro. And it's like, no, I'm not, because I'm very much able to praise anyone, regardless of their gender. It doesn't need to be made about that at all. So I don't know why that always comes up, but it does sometimes. Anyhow, this was just nice, and I'm very glad that Zoe won. I truly, truly believe that she can be some kind of champion someday. I can totally, totally, like, see that. Ivy, with all due respect, I'm not too sure. And I know the whole size thing, you shouldn't do that. Look at Rey Mysterio, right? She's kind of like the, you know, in that regards, the Rey Mysterio, the women's division. But she's quite capable. I enjoy watching these girls wrestle. They're just good at what they do, and some of them, they're not so great, but that's okay. Right? It's not really the end of the world. We'll get into this in a second. So backstage, R-Truth, again, funny as always, with Adam Pearce. They were chatting about some wild stuff about facing the NCAA basketball team. And Braun and Miz are like, we can't fight them. He's like, why not? And he's like, they're a basketball team. A sport's a sport, dog, or whatever he said. It was just so funny. I love the goofy, you know, because he could be pretty serious too. He can get things done. I love R-Truth to death. I love how Adam Pearce, like, rebuttals to Truth stuff. Same thing with The Miz. I'm just very much enjoying that whole Awesome Truth run. I think it's their second run, and I'm just really loving it. Braun Breaker then showed up and said that he wanted to talk to Adam Pearce. Excuse me, my goodness, about why he's not in the King of the Ring. He absolutely should be. That's another guy that I know, like, nothing about, aside from the fact that Rick Steiner is his father, Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, the uncle. Yeah. And, yeah. All right, moving on. 'Cause we're almost here. Backstage again now. This is interesting, and I've talked about this before, because I do think it's interesting, me personally. Backstage, Judgment Day. Dirty Dom brought over Carlito into the fold in the back there. And Priest wasn't happy with Carlito, you know, because he reminisced about back in Puerto Rico. He cost him the match. Dirty Dom said he'll come around, don't worry about him, but he really wanted him to get out. And you could see, like, JD shooing him away kind of thing as well. And the fact part is the fart, okay? Don't ask. That I really like, again, is you can have two heels but yet they don't like each other. I don't like the old days where it seemed like everybody that was a heel was kind of on board. Everybody that's a baby face is on board. Like right? So I kind of like this. You could be two heels and still not like each other. You could still end up facing off each other, against one another, rather. Not always a baby or just a face versus a heel. It could be a face versus a face, heel versus a heel. I do find in this era, last little bit, at least it seems like I'm noticing that happens more, and I really appreciate that. I find it's more believable. Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. This was going to be a nice match. Chad Gable again looks like a Chippendale. It's what I look like until I wake up in the morning. And he gave Braun a suplex. It was just incredible strength the way he did that suplex. I forget what kind of suplex you call it. This is why I can't do color commentary. But it was great. And I understand why Sammy came in. This is one of those rare situations where, I should have waited till the end of the match. I wanted to see a definitive there, but whatever. Sami Zayn incited a brawl. Yeah. I don't know if this was a King of the Ring match or something like that. I'm not too sure. But he's got problems with both Bronson and Chad. And he got a piece of him. Backstage, Gunther promo about Sheamus was really nice. This was interesting to see. In-ring interview with Michael Cole and Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan then came out chatting about, being overlooked and whatnot. Dakota Kai came out, rambles on about nothing important. Damage Control jumps the ring. But then Liv Morgan did a little thing where, it's not my fight. Again, she's technically a face, I think, and so's Becky. But she left her high and dry. And then Valkyria, I believe is her name, ended up, Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria helped Lynch fight Damage Control as Liv Morgan left. And I like her. No idea who she is. Never seen her in my life, apart from when they mentioned her and showed her face from the draft, because she comes from NXT, that thing that, no offense, I just don't have time to watch. So it was really cool. Backstage, Jackie asked when it's going to end with Sami Zayn, with the whole goosiness that has to do with Gable and Reed. Saudi Arabia, at the King and Queen King and Queen of the Ring tournament. My goodness. In Saudi Arabia, Sami announced that it's going to be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title against Bronson and Chad. I hope somehow Sami still retains. I really, really do. Then we ended up having a match with Valkyria and Reed. Valkyria and Dakota Kai. It was a nice match, and has it with Valkyria winning her Raw debut. And what I liked about the match is real simple. Again, I look at her like she's green, in the sense of like new. She just got called up to the main roster. Sometimes there's people that have been on the main roster. I'm not going to pick any names again. They've been on the main roster for a while, and they have like a, bit of a awkwardness. Again, that's that word I use a lot to them. I did not see that from her. Dakota Kai didn't really seem like she missed a beat either. As a matter of fact, I can't count on too many fingers how many times I've just seen her in a one-on-one match. For some obvious reason, she was injured for a while. But this was fine. Did good. Impressive debut. There's no just hesitation. Just flowed. Seems like a natural. And that's cool. So that was nice to see. Backstage promo. Kofi Kingston about the King of the Ring and having to get through Ray. No disrespect to him, to get to Gunther so that he can avenge, what he did to Xavier Woods. Gunther defeated Sheamus in a King of the Ring tournament match. This was a phenomenal match, at least to me. This really was the banger of the night for me. It was just very physical, sweaty, two sweaty hogs just really laying it all out there. And both very dominant. And again, Gunther made Sheamus tap out, which I do believe is a very rare occurrence. I don't think that happens too often. And, yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see. Not Sheamus tap out. I mean, it was nice to see the match. So all in all, like I said, it was a decent night. There's always, a few things here and there I wish would have been, extra. But the show is only, I say only, 3 hours. You can only have so much going on. And when you just look through the previews here, it doesn't look like there was much going on, right? It's very, time gets going really quick. Time flies, is what I'm trying to say. It's like Backlash France, that whole thing. It was like 5 matches. Wow, if each match was like 6 minutes long, boom, you could have had the whole thing done, wrapped up in a half hour. But it doesn't work like that. It gets dragged out, the segments, the commercials, and all that kind of stuff. Although they still wrestle during a commercial. They don't just say, okay, cut, wait, okay, we're rolling in 3, 2, okay, get back on the ground. Bop. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they're going the whole time. So, yeah, it's a 3-hour show, is it? Yeah. And that's it for me. As always, thumbs up if you like the video. It does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm in trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up. And if you didn't like the video, it's too bad. Go ahead, give it a thumbs down. You know it's coming. I bend it in half. I twist it. You get a solo Sakoan spike in the rectum. Okay? The Sakoan comes from Samoan and Sokoa. Solo Sokoa is Samoan. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's where it comes from. I made that up by mistake one day. Or it might have been on purpose. Who cares? And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, trust me, I get it. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe, if I'm lucky, I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.